screen thank you. You should see on your screen the introductory roundtable slide that we always have. Let's go to some of the reminders that we have. These were all sent out in the April 6th UPK update. So if you missed that or need more information, please go back into your inbox and see if you can find it. So calendars, we're reminding you to submit your calendars for 26-27. The submittal link on the JIUPK page at www.jointinitiatives.org/UPK. There is also information there about calendars and frequently asked questions, etc. So look at that if you're having any issues. UPK year and payments. The year officially ends for payments on May 15th. May 15th is the day that enrollment will be pulled down for the May payment. May 15th is also the date that you should be paid for April. And then the May payment will be at the end of May or June. I'd have to look that date up. And your March to May reconciliation requests are due by June 5th with payment on June 22nd. Your final Q3 expenditure report is due on June 30th in your metrics and roll account. You should have already submitted Q2. And then the quality standard meetings that were sent out to you in that April 6th UPK update have been changed slightly. So these are the correct dates, and then they will be sent out again as soon as I have a link for this. They will be sent out again to you as a reminder. But if you have already put one of the previous ones on your schedule, it may have changed for you. I think the school district presentation was pushed back, but I'm not completely sure about that. So make sure that these are the correct dates and times. So just make sure that you put that down. And then we will be sending the link out to you. And I feel very confident that the state will be sending the link out to you too. All right, any general questions at this point before we go into direct enrollment? Not just what I put here, but anything else that you may have. So that if you're not interested in sitting here for direct enrollment, you can call it a day. But I want to give you an opportunity to ask any other questions you may have outside of direct enrollment. No questions, it looks like. Okay. All right, then we're going to go on to direct enrollment. So if you have the ability to be able to do this while you're on Zoom, I would really suggest that you go ahead and pull up the UPK page. I am going to share my screen in a second with that, but it would be great if you could actually do it too, just so that everybody knows where they can find the information. So I'm going to stop sharing the slideshow and I am going to go to, wait a minute. Be nice to me. I'm going to get rid of that and I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to go to this and now I'm going to share my screen again. If I can find the UPK, I mean the Zoom stuff to be able to do it. Hello. Be patient a second here, folks. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Can you see it, Heather? Okay, great. All right, so this is what the JI page looks like when you log in. So it's again www.joininitiatives.org. And so if you don't put the UPK behind it, this is what it looks like. And then you go to Learn About Universal Preschool. And this is what the UPK page looks like. Okay. So we try to keep this as up to date as we possibly can. As you can see, there are some quick links and communications at the top. There are some pieces right at the top for families. We also have a UPK families page that is in both English and Spanish. So you can send a family to that page. I'm so sorry. You can send a family to that page if you need help. And again, the basic information is also in Spanish. Sorry about that. Go away. Go away. Oh well, you'll just have to wait until that goes away. Anyway, then we start the information for providers, and there's some provider quick links here that you can see, and then we have the provider handbook. Now, the state has changed the way that they are doing the provider handbook at this point. They believe it is easier to update and that will make it easier for you to be able to use it also. It's more searchable. So we're going to click here. It says click here to check it out. And this is the new format. All right, so this is what the new format looks like. So it does have all of the document tabs on the side, as you can see here, and it gives you the opportunity to, this person is very persistent. It gives you the opportunity to be able to go down and then get directly to a section that you are looking for. Okay. It's not as pretty as the other one, but this is what they're using at this point. Excuse me. So we're going to go to the section here that says direct enrollment. Okay. So, what this is showing you is that the process for direct enrollment and and what happens. So, we're going to kind of walk through this, but some of the information that you may need to see as you're doing this is illustrated here that will help you to get through this. So, I'm going to talk through this right now. So, there's two different ways that direct enrollment can happen. The first is that the family goes in and they start a UPK application. So let's take the Smith family who has just moved to El Paso County, and they have an eligible 4-year-old for the fall. So they've seen about UPK, they've heard about UPK, and so they want to apply. So they go to upk.colorado.gov and they complete an application. Okay. So that application, at that point, they are only allowed to choose two providers. Um, so folks who do not have a match yet that have an application already in there may have way more than two providers that are in selected status. But a new applicant is only allowed to choose two. Okay. So they choose their two providers and they submit their application. So immediately, the two providers, and it's not just providers, but it's also a program. So if you have, as a provider, if you have three programs, so let's say you only have one site, but there's a part day, a half day, and a full day program. They're also choosing the program that they want. Okay. So they could choose you twice, but choose a different program. And so it may look like there's a duplicate application, but in fact, there is not. It's just the same application, but it has two of your programs on it. Okay. Regardless, you'll see two programs or two providers in selected status. Now, you will not see where else the family has chosen to go or to be considered. If it's two separate providers, you'll only see you, okay? And that will be in selected status. So we're going to talk about how you monitor that in a minute. But what you basically do is you keep an eye on the families that have you in selected status. Okay. And if it's a new one, it should have a new next to it. All right. So, what you would do in that case is one of two things, or at least I'm recommending one of two things. Okay. The first is if you do not have any seats in that particular program, then you would decline that family using the reason that there are no gen ed seats. Now, there have been some people excuse me, who have been having problems declining. So if you're in a situation where you are having problems declining, I want you to reach out to me. And I'm sending these situations up to the state and asking them to fix it or explain why that's happening. So if you find out that you can't decline for some reason, I want you to take a screenshot. I want you to send it to me, and then I'm collecting them and sending them up to the state. So you should be able to decline a family if you have no seats using the declination, I have no gen ed seats. No other declination is appropriate for you. If you have seats, you cannot decline. And no other declination is appropriate to you unless you have checked off that reason on your setup form. So, school districts, of course, can decline somebody for being out of district, etc. But if you're a more typical UPK provider, you did not check anything off on your setup form that would allow you to decline except for having no gen ed seats. Okay. And if you have seats available and somebody has chosen that, you cannot decline them for that reason. Okay. I review all declinations. I take a quick look at them, and if there are any that appear to be out of the normal, then I will check to see what occurred. And then I am under orders to reverse that declination and contact you and let you know that I did that, and then find out what the situation is and see if we can help you. Okay, the second thing you can and should do is contact that family. You should be able to see the application. So contact that family and invite them for a tour. Okay, or discuss with them over the telephone what it is they're looking for, however it is you want to do it. And then if that family decides that they would like to enroll with you, then you can go into your portal and you can offer them a match. Okay. And excuse me, the family should be able to see that match. They can accept it, and then you can enroll. So if that family, say the Smiths are standing in front of you, they have done a tour and they're like, yeah, I love this place for my child. This is what I want to do. So then you can have them sign into their application. They can do it on the phone, they can do it on one of your computers or whatever. Sign into the application, and you right then and there will sign into the portal and offer them a match. And then when that match comes through, they can accept it standing right in front of you. Okay. And then you can enroll them from there once they complete your paperwork. Okay. So you can do all of that without ever having to talk to me or Heather. Okay. So that's the direct enrollment process from that perspective. Okay. So you also may want to, the parent doesn't necessarily, or the parent could reach out to you directly and say, I'm interested in knowing more about your center before I put you on my list. And so then you would go through the process of saying, okay, do you want to do a tour or whatever the situation may be? And then you go through exactly the same process. Okay. And always, if after a tour, the family says, no, this isn't going to be a good fit for me, they should sign into their application and withdraw their selected status. And so essentially, they're declining you at that point. Okay. So you're not declining them if you have seats, but they can decline you if that's not what they want to do. Okay. All right. So let me show you here what is in this handbook. So you can see here, if you're one of those programs who just goes through and sends a match to a family without ever reaching out to them, which is not what I would suggest, okay? Um, that family can go in and decline the match if they want to do that, as we just talked about. Okay. And it opens up them to be able to add other providers to their application should they choose to do that. But as it says here, we recommend families are connecting with providers first before initiating the process. But again, you as a provider, once you see that happening, should reach out to a family and ask them for help. So you can view the students who have selected your program in applications submitted since the last matching round application window closed. Forget that part. We're now in direct enrollment, so this is how you can view those that are in selected status. So from the home page, a provider can select a location and then review the number of students who have selected their program. Okay. Remember that if you have more than one program, you're going to have to look at each of those programs for children in selected status. Okay. So this shows you exactly what you press here when you see it. It's under the Match tab. So you will notice that names are bolded until you click on the student. Additionally, you will see indicators that help you identify submissions that are new, and if those submissions may be for a student with an IEP or potentially identify themselves as a sibling of an existing student. So you can filter and refine your view should you choose to do that. And it says here, using these filters are optional. You can also always choose to view your full list. Okay. All right. So there's more illustrations here, how to view a selection. So when viewing a student who has selected one of your programs, you can easily view a few key elements, including student information, application information, application enrollment status, and when a student name is no longer bolded, you will know you have opened that application. So then you can accept or decline selections. So you should respond to selections in a timely manner. Providers can decline families who are in a selected place and program full status, but only if you do not have open seats at this point, okay? Or have another reason to decline them. Okay. Um, So, important notes. Will providers receive a notification or email when families select their program? Nope. You got to keep up with the list. Okay. Is the process in real time or do we have to wait overnight for a selection to show up? It's in real time. So, that is part of what allows you to be able to complete the whole thing with a family standing in front of you if you wanted to. Okay. Because it's in real time. Will all providers see that the child's application in their homepage? Can more than one provider respond with an acceptance or decline? Yes, it's not at all uncommon for Heather or I to go into an application and see that a match has been offered by more than one provider to a family. And so that's why we really suggest, first of all, that you have a conversation with that family before you actually send them a match. But you can send them a match without ever having a conversation with the family. And if that is the case, again, you will not see that that other provider has sent them a match. Heather and I can, but you can't see that. So at that point, then um, if the family accepts one of those matches, then, and the child is enrolled, theoretically, if the system is working properly, your match is going to go away. Okay. However, if they don't accept with, I believe, in 7 days, I think it's 7 days, then theoretically that's supposed to go back to selected status anyway. So, um, will families be able to select a program that is full? Yes, they can. So, once again, if you are full, if you do not have a seat and you do not have the ability to increase your seats, i.e., you're at capacity, and to accept that family or to offer them a match, then we have to you have to decline them. And if for some reason you have a problem with that, then you send an email to Heather or to me, and we will withdraw the family from your list. What will happen to students who are waitlisted? Universal program preschool does not manage waitlists. So if now that you are in direct enrollment, you are managing any children that may have an interest in you, but you don't have a seat open, so that if a seat does open, you can go back and call them and say, okay, I have a seat open. Now, are you interested? They may already be enrolled in another provider and they may really want to switch to you. And there are some processes involved in doing that. But that, to the best of my knowledge at this point, is not something that can happen unless you involve either Heather or me. Okay. So if you're in the situation where you have enrolled a child and the parent calls you and says, hey, a seat opened up at the school district and I really want my kiddo to go there, you have to unenroll that child. Okay. And you have to, I mean, we have the ability to unenroll, but we're not supposed to be doing that. Okay. So if you're requested by the family to unenroll, then you need to get it done. Okay. Um, how long do families have to accept a match? Here we go. Once you accept a student selection, the family will have 7 calendar days to accept the match and move forward with the enrollment process. What if a match is past due? Past due matches are released regularly by CDEC. If it has been more than 2 weeks since you offered a seat to a family and they have not accepted or returned, please reach out to us. What if a family decides they no longer want to move forward with the selection? They can withdraw from a program if they are in selected, placed, or accepted status. This new feature gives you and the family even greater ability to respond to any changes in the application process. And then it shows you what it looks like from the family's experience here, what their dashboard looks like. So you can take a look at that and kind of see what's happening with them. This is 25, 26. I'm hoping that 26, 27 has not changed that much, but I will reach out to the state and ask them to update this if the screens have changed at all. Okay, so that is direct enrollment. I'm going to stop sharing here. And so As a reminder, because I see a lot of the folks on here are relatively new to UPK, and many of you know more about UPK than I do. So, for those of you who are new, as a reminder, the we are in direct enrollment now as of April 1. There is no more matching for the 26-27 year. So no one can jump into the seats that you have without you knowing it. Okay. Remember that you can increase your own seats. You cannot decrease your seats. Decreasing your seats, you need to come to either Heather or me, and we'll take care of it. We would prefer that via email for the simple reason that we have to have a written record of what it is we're doing. And so it's easier if you have actually reached out via email. And in fact, for almost everything that you want to do, except a question around, I don't understand this, or something of that sort, in which we really need to have a conversation, anything that you are directing us to do, it is much better if it comes to us in email. So you can send it directly to me at nglt@mac.com, and you can send it to the JI Help Desk, which is UPK at jointinitiatives.org. And that will also, if it can be taken care of at the state level quickly, they will do it. Otherwise, it comes down to us. And you can reach out to Heather directly. Heather, do you want to? I can never spell your name. Can you, or put in the chat or something, what your email is?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, that would be great. So, and that goes directly to Heather. It never goes through the help desk up at the state, nor does any email coming to me in NGLT, also does not go up to the state. All right. Um, what questions do you have around direct enrollment? Is there anything that was not clear, or at this point, anything else you need assistance with? Amber,
Hi, how are you guys? Good to see you.
you too.
Thanks for having this. And Heather, thank you for your emails. It's been super helpful, and I did get back into my account. Couple questions. We back to when a kiddo has two programs, does that mean they've selected if this one doesn't work, we'll take this one?
Um, so yes, basically no, they're not necessarily committing to take anything. What they are saying is, I'm interested. Okay. So there's no commitment until they accept a match. Okay. And
Okay.
even then, between now and the start of the school year, they can change their mind.
But if they have applied or shown interest in a full-time 30 to 40 hours and then another part-time spot, like in business world, I'm going to say, yes, we'll take you full-time because that's more, more time or more money here, right? I mean, that's what I'm seeing
Right.
that as. But if I'm
Right.
full on my full-time, then I can accept the part-time
Well,
enrollment.
if you're full on your full time, you should be declining that one because you
Okay.
have no gen ed seats in that program. But the best thing to do always is to call the family and say, hey, I mean, it's much more user friendly. You're already starting the relationship at that point. And certainly you want the relationship with the family if their child's coming to you. So start the relationship by calling them and saying, hey, I see that you're thinking about us as your potential provider. You put down here full day, and we don't have any full day seats, but we do have this. Will any of those work for you? Okay. And then if the family were to say, well, I like this one, and it's not already in their application, that particular program needs to be added into their application. In a lot of instances, we have to unlock the application for them to be able to do that. So the easier thing to do there, quite frankly, is just to send us an email and say, such and such family, this UPK number wants the half day program, and that's not in their application. Can you put it in so that I can offer them a match? And then we toss it in there.
Okay. And so if I accept the full-time, then I need to decline the part-time, or they need to withdraw the part-time.
Well, if you accept one over the other, so if you have seats in both,
Hmm.
okay, and you accept one over the other, don't worry about the other selected status at this point. Theoretically, when the family accepts the match, the other one will automatically go into withdrawn. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to work. So, yeah, when you go through the process of actually offering them a match and they accept it, everything else that's in selected status, no matter where it is or what it is, should be going to withdrawn.
Okay. And then if it says 30 to 40 hours, is it 30 or 40 or somewhere in between? Like what
Okay,
is that?
so So the state defines their programs by a certain number of hours. Okay. So a part day program is between 10 and 14 hours. A half day program is between 15 and 29 hours. A full day program is between 30 and 40, and an extended day program is 40 plus. Okay. So, all that means it's a marketing tool basically to be able to say to families, if you can make do with a part day program that's, between 10 and 14 hours, this is what you should choose. If you need a full day program, then you should choose the full day. If you need something beyond full day, then you choose the extended day, and you're offering what you're willing to offer them. Okay. Now, payment is a whole different ball of wax. Okay. So a family could enroll in a full day program and only be eligible for 15 hours of UPK support, right? But they're in, and so if you have a full day program over the 10 months of UPK, you have to offer them a minimum of 900 hours over that period of time. Okay. And that's actually based on it being 30 hours. All right. So as long as you're open and offering them services for an average of 30 hours and a minimum of 900 hours, then you've met over the time period, then you've met the requirement. Let me answer Hazel's question, then we'll go back to other ones that you may have, Amber. Hazel.
Sorry, I was struggling getting off mute. I have a question. So if we have a child that is in selected status and we did speak with the family and they said that they found another program and they want to stick with the program that they're in, are we able to then decline that? We're
No,
not.
no. So you have two choices there. You can ask the family to sign into their application and withdraw that selection,
Okay.
okay, so that it doesn't show up. Or you can send us a quick email and say, this family doesn't want to come to us. Can you withdraw it?
Okay, perfect. I will do that then. Thank you.
That makes sense?
It makes complete sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Anita, I'll answer your question in a minute. I do want to confirm something that we are aware is going to happen. So, um, theoretically, beginning on July 1, the state is going to take all enrollment questions, any actions that are needed to support enrollment by either providers or families is supposed to be handled by the state. We are hoping that they will allow our permissions to, they won't change our permissions so that we can still assist you if we need to. But I want you to know that the more of this stuff you learn to do on your own, the better off you're going to be. Because I think we have all agreed, all local coordinating organizations have agreed that the state has no idea the volume that is going to come their way. And so, it could take a couple of days before you get help. So, particularly if they change our permissions. Learn how to do as much of this stuff as you can on your own, so that you're not waiting for the state to take care of something. So, in that case, Hazel, that's why I'm circling back and saying have the family sign into their application and withdraw the choice.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, I did try to get her to do that, but she doesn't really know how to work the system.
I know.
And so yeah, I was like,
No, I get it. I absolutely get it. And again, this is the kind of thing that the state is going to have a real challenge with. July 1 should be interesting and August should be even more interesting. But hopefully they're not going to remove our permission so that Heather and I can continue to assist you if we need to. Okay? But that's just a heads up and a warning because it's coming.
alrighty, I appreciate you guys both.
Yep. So, Anita, here is what I understand is happening, and what's supposed to happen. So, Anita has said, this is for the recording. Anita has said, does UPK have a date when they announce awarded hours for the newer applications? I need to know that for possible tuition for our full day programs. So, first of all, I am told that they are doing an upload sometime tomorrow. These are all manual. Okay. And so they do their stuff behind the scenes and then they upload it. Theoretically, you should be able to download a report and see whether or not that child is on that report. And we don't have any more up-to-date information than you do because the subsidy report that we have is based on whenever the last time the information was uploaded. However, we can generally take a look at an application and tell you whether or not they're going to be eligible for 30 hours. What we can't say is that is definitive because there is concern this year that at some point the state is going to run out of money for supplemental hours. So until the state actually says we have the money and this family is eligible, there's no guarantee. I'd say that the guarantee is, I mean, we have not been told that they're getting close. Okay. But we can generally look at an application and tell you whether or not they're going to be eligible.
Are they allowed to reverse awarded hours? I
No.
mean, no.
Well, yes, but their statement is that once awarded, then they've awarded it because they have the money.
Okay. Is there like a regular schedule when they
Oh,
award hours?
Anita, I so wish there was. I've actually even asked them to put the uploads on the UPK calendar in our LCO hub so that we can see when that's going to happen. Let's just say that hasn't happened. So, but I happen to know that there's an upload coming up because I asked a question of the state around a kiddo whose IEP was removed and they were originally awarded 30 hours, but the IEP was removed and I don't think they're eligible for 30 anymore. So I was sending that up to the state and saying, okay, what's going on here? And so they said, well, there's going to be an upload tomorrow and I'll be able to check at that point. Yeah, okay, thanks. So that's the only reason I know that they're uploading one tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right. Anybody else have any additional questions? Amber, you got more on your mind?
Yeah, but I'm happy to schedule a meeting with you guys if that would be easier because I have a lot and I don't want to take up your time here if needed, but or I can. Happy to do either.
All right, so I'll tell you what, this meeting is scheduled until 2 o'clock. And I have a therapy appointment at 2:30, so it's not going past 2 o'clock. However, we have 20 minutes. So what we can do is see if anybody else has any questions, and then they can either stay on and listen to your questions or they can sign off and we'll keep you on and go through your questions until 2 o'clock.
Great. Thank you.
Uh-huh. So does anybody else have any other questions?
I just have one question.
Okay.
Um, can I, for a family that is already enrolled,
Mhm.
but due to housing transfer from the area, can I just go ahead and disenroll from the program? Is there anything else I need to do other than just logging in and disenrolling? Because I know that option should be available for
Mhm.
an enrolled family.
Right. So is this a 26-27 kiddo?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. What you're going to do is you're going to go in and unenroll the child.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay? Yep.
Okay.
Anything else? Crystal, I should also say, and goes the same for the rest of you, if you're unenrolling a child and they're moving out of the state, we certainly would like an email saying, hey, I unenrolled this child, they're moving out of the state. And the reason is then we put that in the application as a note and we withdraw that application from the UPK system. However, if they're moving to another part of the state and still want to be in UPK, we don't want to withdraw the application. But if they're moving out of state or out of the country, and we know that, we will withdraw the application. So, why is that important? Because my friend Heather, in the upper left-hand corner of my screen, actually goes through and draws down a list of families who have no matches, right? And so at some point along the line, we start reaching out to them and saying, hey, there are still seats available. Do you want a match? So we don't want to reach out to a family that has moved out of state. That's a waste of resources. So if we know that somebody has moved out of state, then we want to withdraw their application and then it doesn't show up on Heather's list. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So if any of the rest of you want to continue to stay and learn from Amber's questions, that's fine. If not, feel free to leave us, and I hope you have a great day. Um, Amber, if it is okay with you, we're going to go ahead and continue the recording because these may be questions that other people have. Okay. And
Sure.
so it'll be easier if we just can do that. All right. All right, what can we do for you?
All right. So we operate, so the kiddos are going to be full day. We don't have a half day program. We have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday program or Tuesday, Thursday program. So if a kiddo is approved for 16 hours, I really don't care, right? I just am going to get paid for 16 hours from UPK. That kiddo is going to be here, whatever the family and I decide. If they decide they're coming 5 days a week, they're only getting 16 hours of UPK. Our agreement will be that they owe us the remainder of tuition.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm not tracking spots necessarily. I'm tracking my capacity of my room. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if
Uh,
my room can hold 24 kids, I can accept 24 UPK spots. Doesn't
sure.
matter to me if you're full-time, part-time, because we do all day.
Right.
Okay.
So if your room has 24 capacity, then you've got 24 on Tuesday, Thursday. You've got 24 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? And then your full day bring all of that down. Right? So, because let's say half of your kids are full day, right? So that takes care of what, 12? 12 of your seats. And then you have 12 more seats on Tuesday, Thursday. and 12 seats on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yep. So currently I don't have any Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday kids. They all come Monday through Friday. So I have 24. Okay. So that doesn't matter to y'all how I build that. It just matters how many seats I'm
You
taking.
just can't go over licensing capacity on any given day.
Perfect. And does UPK have smaller ratios for that? Am I running a 1 to 10 classroom?
The quality standards that are coming into play in July has a lot to do with your rating. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to need to look at the quality standards and based on your rating, and there's more information that you can get by attending one of those quality standards office hours. Okay. But if you are a lower rated program, then your adult to child ratio is lower. Okay. If you're a higher rated program, then you're allowed to go up to the top of licensing standards and be a UPK provider.
Okay. So if because currently we're just one, we haven't done any of the ratings. But we can't do any of the ratings, right? Because everything's on hold.
Correct.
Great. And
I
that
know,
is a
right?
one, believe me, 1 to 10 at the moment, or 1 to 11. Do you know off the top of your
I
head?
think it's 1 to 10 for programs that are ranked 1 and 2.
Okay.
But if you look at the quality standards, it tells you. And the
Okay.
quality, there's a quality standards section. Just a minute.
In the handbook or in the,
Well, in the on the UPK page, JIUPK page, there's a
okay.
whole quality standards section there.
Okay. If a family comes in and they tour and maybe they just didn't read all of it and they're like, oh, we can't pay past what UPK pays for, then I need to say, no problem. Let me show you how to go in and decline and withdraw from us because,
Yeah,
okay. But
right,
I can't decline them on that. They need to move themselves.
right, right.
Okay.
So the other option is to send the family to us so that Heather, I talk to the family and help them find another provider that will work for them.
Okay. Okay. And then I'll double check. I was following along with you, but also, things here. How many days to accept a family once they show up with the new tab?
The family has 7 days to once you've sent them a match, the family
Okay.
has 7 days to accept the match.
But I'm not on a timeline to accept the match. Okay, so I can plan my room. Okay, we're trying to get all of our current families to apply, and then we can accept
Yeah,
outside.
you've
Okay.
just been
Okay.
recently published, and
Yeah.
so with that, I want to make sure that all of your current families are, if they want to come to you, that they're placed with you. So what
Perfect.
I'm trying to do, I provide a lot more hand holding for new providers and newly published providers. So if you've got a list of families that are already attending with you, right? And you know that they have applied, or you want to know if they have applied, then you just send me the list and I look them all up. And then
Okay, perfect.
and then if they have a an application but they don't have you on that application, right? Then I can add you in and we can get them an accepted status. So we cut through the various stages.
Gotcha. Okay. Then so I've gone in, I have a few that we've already gone in, parents have accepted. I have two that have been accepted. And then if I click on my enrolled students tab, they're not enrolled yet.
Well, that's because you haven't enrolled them.
Okay, so then I matched, they've accepted, and now I'm enrolled. The big red button. I'm with you. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yep, because
But I would,
they're already ours anyway, so they're
right.
already enrolled.
I
Okay.
was gonna say, don't enroll them unless you have their paperwork.
Yeah, these ones
Right.
are already ours anyway.
Okay.
Okay,
Then, yeah. So you can, if they're an accepted status, you can enroll them. Any other status, you can't enroll them.
perfect. Okay, because they haven't accepted. Okay, I'm tracking that.
Correct.
Payment, I think that's what that lady was asking for.
Wait a
How
minute, wait a
much?
minute, wait a minute. Heather, did you have something you wanted to add?
Just really quick, Amber, I pulled up your program profile and you're saying 24 seats. You have 20 total for
Yeah,
UPK. Did you want
if they're
24?
gonna cut me off at, well, no, if it's a 1 to 10, I can only do 20.
Right.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So if at this point, I just wanted you to know it's 20 based on your ratio, not 24 on
Actually,
your thing.
but I can add 10 more. We can go because I have another classroom that would be UPK. So I can add more, but maybe we leave that there at the moment.
Amber, you and I have already talked about
Yeah.
this. So,
Yeah.
Heather, with all due respect, let me take care of this one. So, yeah, you and I have already talked about this. So, when you get to the point that you want to add more,
Yep.
you can talk to me and I'll help you out.
That's fine because we had another, that's okay. And then payment, I haven't uploaded anything or been asked, but I was reading and it said you should get an email from them, and then I respond to that email.
What I would do if I were you is I would send an email to COUPK payments at metricsiq.com and tell them that you're a new provider and that you need to set up Metrics Enroll, and then they'll send you an invite.
Okay. And then do you or they, and I think that's what that lady was asking, what is what's the price? What's the reimbursement rate or the payment rate?
We
Is it
don't
a
know yet.
flat? Okay, that's what we don't know. Okay.
Yeah, that's not going to happen for us until June or July because
Okay.
it's based on the state's budget and that being passed. And then they run the amount of money that they have through some kind of an algorithm and they come back. And so what's paid in El Paso County is different than what's paid in
I was
Denver.
going to ask. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And so once that gets paid, then we get that information saying, okay, they pay. Do they send it out as an hourly rate? Like, or is it a flat rate for at 15 we pay this, at 20 we pay this?
Well, it's 15 or 30. That's it. Okay. And so 15 hours, everybody is eligible for 15 hours.
Gotcha.
There is a 10-hour rate, but that's only if you're running a part day program. Okay.
Okay.
But every child is eligible for 15 hours. Some are eligible for 30.
And when I look at my thing, I have a little friend, well, the two I've accepted are, it says full-time 30 to 40 hours. We've accepted, that means both of those kids were accepted.
So what it means is that they have chosen your full-time program. It does not mean that they're eligible for 30 hours.
That's what I need to know. How will I know how many hours they're eligible for?
You pull down an enrollment report from
When I, okay,
and there is a column there that should tell you what they're eligible for.
gotcha.
And
Oh,
that's the part that's not working the way it's supposed to.
not my shocked face. Then this friend says 16 hours. So that means he applied, that would be the 2 day a week program.
Okay?
Is that correct? Is that what that means? Because I have 30 to 40, 16, and 24.
Yeah. So you told me
Right.
that your 2 day a week program was 16 hours. So he chose the 16
Okay.
hours. He's eligible for 15. Okay, because
Gotcha.
you can't be eligible for 30 and be in a program other than a full-time or an extended day program. Okay.
Perfect.
So he's going to be eligible for 15, and if you want to, you can charge him for one more hour. Okay. Because you're being paid for 15 hours. Okay.
Okay.
He's there for 16. So the 16th hour you can charge.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so if I can I change what we've set up, or now it's done?
No, I mean, now that would be a real challenge.
Okay.
So let's
'Cause-
not do that.
So if by when this comes in, I would know by looking at it that they want part-time because they've selected other 16 hours.
Yeah, they've
So
chosen the 16-hour program, so they want
right,
Tuesday, Thursday.
they want Tuesday, Thursday. And I have to accept that because I'm saying I have Tuesday, Thursday spots open.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, we can take your Tuesday, Thursday seats down so that you can only take a couple of those kids because then at that point you would be full. Okay. And in fact, we can take it down to one if that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's kind of what that's what I wasn't tracking correctly. So I think if we offered all full-time spots, but if they only get approved for 15 hours and then, yeah, I don't know. I've mixed it
okay,
up.
that part we're going to talk about offline.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. I
Do
think
you
that
have
makes
any,
sense.
and do you have any other general questions that others may be interested in?
No, I think the enrollment part was the part that we were questioning. I think that makes a lot of sense. And then the how it all kind of played out. I just got back into the account this morning, but it makes sense how it rolls out. So I appreciate that, and we'll keep the handbook kind of on on a screen at all times, it looks like, so that we can just refer back. But that makes more sense. I appreciate that.
Okay, no worries. All right, does anybody else have any other questions before we sign off? And Amber, send me an email for your availability for next week, and we'll see if we can find a time to talk through your programs and your seats.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you both.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you all for being here. You can stop the recording.